welcome back to Compassion Camp. I'm so glad to see all of you here today. I think we should get right into it. Let's get started by doing our loving kindness chant. Do you remember this one? This is where we say that powerful word that we learned, loving kindness, and we say it with power. All right, so here we go. You say loving, and put one hand on this hip, kindness, put one hand on this hip, and then repeat it. Loving kindness. Good job. Let's do it one more time. With power from here. Loving kindness. Loving kindness. Great job. You did such a good job with the loving kindness chant. And as we know, loving kindness comes from compassion. We have a chant for compassion, so why don't we do that here now too? And this is the compassion chant. And it's how we remember how to show compassion to somebody else. All right, so first we say, I see your hurt. Point to your eyes. I feel your hurt. Put your hand over your heart. I help ease your hurt. When we show compassion, we see that someone else is hurting. We understand the feeling that they're feeling. And maybe we felt that way too. And so that's how we understand it. And then we do whatever we can to help ease their hurt. And that's how we show compassion. So that's our compassion chant. I see your hurt. I feel your hurt. I help ease your hurt. And we can show compassion to the people we encounter even if we do not live in the same way as them, or even if we don't necessarily live right next to each other. You know, sometimes people at church, we're right there with them. We see them every week now that we're back in person. People at school you see all the time, people at home, your family, you see them all the time, but we can show compassion to people that maybe live in different towns, or they have some sort of barrier between us and them, like a town border, or maybe it's something like a physical, like a river. There's a river that we can't get over there to them. Or maybe it's something more complicated. Maybe it's their hurt feelings that keep us from being able to show compassion or be close to them. Maybe they just live in a completely different way than we do, and that's a barrier that keeps us from being able to show compassion to them. But what we have to do is find ways to cross those barriers to show compassion to one another. And we are going to do an imagination exercise to help us understand barriers, and I think it's going to be pretty fun, unless you don't like firefighters, which of course, I like firefighters. I hope you like firefighters, because we're going to all pretend that we're firefighters. And in this imagination, we are going to live in two neighboring towns. So here's a map, and there's two towns, and there's a fire station in each town, and there's a river in between them. So that's our barrier. So that's one town and another town. Now, you're going to be the chief of this town here, and I'm going to be the chief of this town here. So you're the chief of this fire station, I'm the chief of this one. And both our fire departments have the things that we need to put out fires, but we have different stuff. My town station has one new truck. It's just one truck, but it's brand new and it's shiny. And we have new fire helmets, and we have tough fire boots. At your station, you have two trucks. They're older than mine, but you have two of them. And you've got new fire coats, and you've got axes, and very importantly, you've got a dog. The stations, both of them, serve each of the neighborhoods that are around them. So mine serves the one that are closest to it, and yours serves the people who are closest to it. And they try to get to fires as quickly as they can. All right, so what happens when there's a fire and we go and we arrive at the fire? What do? Do we get the hoses? We do lots of things, don't we? We get the hoses, we hook them up, we spray water. Sometimes we have to go in and help people and bring them back out. We have to do all sorts of different things. There's a lot of different things that firefighters do to help with a fire. And usually, I won't send my firefighters from my station to your town, and you won't send yours from your station to my town. Because, we don't need to. There's the barrier between us. You've got your area, I've got my area. But sometimes, once in a while, there are fires that get too big for just one station to handle. So, let's say that there's a fire in my town, and I send all my firefighters, and we show up, and we start to work with our trucks and our new equipment, but the fire keeps growing, and we can't put it out. What do I do? How do I know that I need more help than what I have? Who do I call if I need help? If I called your town, do you think your town would come? If your fire station were to have the same problem and they called my town, what would we do? Would we come? How would we respond? Do you think we would cross the barrier of our neighborhood to help each other out? I think once I realized that the fire in my town was too big because I could see that everything my town was trying to do to help wasn't working, I would call you, my neighbors, for help. And I bet you would come too, because that's how you show compassion as firefighters. And I know that you folks, you people over there watching this, you're people who like to show compassion, aren't you? And that's how I know that you would come. And my town would do the same for yours. We would cross those barriers of our towns, and we'd cross the rules and the normal rules and the way things are, and we wouldn't worry about our trucks getting damaged or our new boots getting damaged or anything like that, because showing compassion to others, even people who live in different towns, even people who live in different ways, even people we might be angry at the time, all those people, showing them compassion across any barriers is what's most important. Okay. Thanks for doing an imagination exercise with me. Let's sing a song, okay? This one is all about showing love and compassion across barriers. I think you're going to like it, and then remember to come back for a Bible story.